Here I come.
Oh.
Here I come.
Oh.
Seems everyone's fucking talking about Tarantino's these days. First, QT collaborator Robert Richardson casually mentions that Quentin's next film could start shooting next summer. He just nonchalantly drops that during an interview and instantly sends every talentless hack entertainment journalist into a fucking frenzy trying to craft the perfect clickbait headline for their shitty little entertainment news website. Then, Timothy Olyphant comes along and makes the claim that The Adventures of Cliff Booth is unmistakably a Tarantino movie, while also being unmistakably a David Fincher movie. So either this film is going to be the reincarnation of the moment some genius combined peanut butter with chocolate, or when some asshole put fucking mayonnaise on a burger. Stupid fuck ass. Welcome to Talking Tarantino. Welcome everyone to another episode of Talking Tarantino. I'm your host, the Reverend Scott K, and it is my pleasure to welcome to the show one of the co-hosts of the World of Hellmouth podcast, a show that takes a retrospective look back at the Buffy the Vampire series. Joining us all the way from the sweltering Motor City, it's Miss Heather Baxendale-Walsh. Welcome, Miss Walsh, and may Tarantino be with you always.
And may Tarantino be with you, and also lots of ice and cold packs. Fuck this. This is bullshit. I live in Michigan, so I don't have to deal with this. I'm cool with Sub-Zero. This is sucky.
Yeah, I know. We're Northerners. I'm a Northeasterner. You're a Northerner. And yeah, this kind of heat. Plus, we've got, as you know, as we record, Ontario, which borders both of us, it's closer to my side right now, is on fire again. So, yeah, not only do we have the heat, but we've also got this terrible air quality of smoke and smog. So, yeah, listen, it's the apocalypse. Fuck it, let's do it, you know?
It is. Utah's on fire, too. We're not
I should wake up every morning playing REM's It's the End of the World as We Know It. I mean, it just feels, it's a happy-go-lucky song about dying. So, fuck it, at this point.
Have a good time on your way out. That's my plan.
Yes. I feel like, you know, we're not going to get the quick face into the mantle of, you know, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, so we'll take the slow, choking, coughing death of America.
Yeah.
U.S. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. This is video. Everyone can see my facial reaction.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll edit you in and out.
Until I started doing a podcast where we were doing YouTube videos, I had no idea that I have zero poker face. Like, I react to everything.
That's just a good reminder for future guests that when I edit, what your face looks like is up to me sometimes. I can decide to cut away from it, or I can hold it into a full frame. So, well, it is always a pleasure to have you on when we talk something Tarantino. And we're going to kick off these proceedings with the latest Tarantino news. First up, in a recent interview with Deadline magazine about the documentary coming out on his life and career, Robert Richardson, QT's DP since Kill Bill, was asked about a number of things Tarantino related. And the biggest takeaway from this interview was his answer to the question if Tarantino has ever spoken to him about his 10th film. To which Richardson replied, no, nobody knows what he's going to do. We know that he's going to finish his play, so he's not going to shoot till after that. So there's a possibility sometime next summer. I have no idea what it is, but he won't be walking down the same path he's currently walking. I don't know what he'll do. Now, in par for the course, shitty clickbait entertainment journalism, numerous websites and wannabe social media entertainment accounts took this vague answer and ran with it, claiming Tarantino's next film will be filming next summer. One limp dick site went so far because they had no idea who the fuck Robert Richardson was and ended up claiming that he was a producer on QT's next film. In an interview with Screen Daily that came out the same day, Richardson was asked a similar question, to which he replied, the intention is to work with him again. He is in that phase of working on a play. He's not going to talk about where he's going with his next film. It's sometime next year. The exact time isn't locked in. It could be prepped in the summer. It depends on how the play does and where it goes. Sounds a lot like what Tarantino stated during my interview with him last summer, when he said that if the play was successful, he would look to adapt it for his 10th and final film. God forbid entertainment journalism do any lick of fucking research. Now, Miss Walsh, we both know that the entertainment journalism, for the most part in this country, is completely and utter dog shit. It's mostly half-assed reports that are copy and pasted from other news sites with headlines that are meant to get clicks. In my opinion, high school newspapers have more journalistic credibility than 98% of all entertainment journalists and websites out there. So my question for you is, do you think that Richardson is just as in the dark about what Tarantino's next project is as everyone else is? Whether it's the final film or even the announced 1930s gangster series he and Stallone are apparently creating? Or does he actually know and his remarks are meant to throw us all off of the scent of QT's next project?
First of all, you're giving these fuckers way too much credit by referring to them as journalists.
Fair.
They're just ball lickers, sweaty ball lickers, all of them. I hate them. I try to avoid them, but I know that you have to read these headlines, and I feel like you do it, so I don't have to. So I appreciate you in that way.
I'm doing the Lord's work, as they say.
It is. That's why we're at the church. I don't believe shit until I hear it from Tarantino's mouth. And I live by that because there has been too many things over the years that have gone in the opposite direction of whatever. Even things that seemed like they were legit. Until he says it, I don't believe that it's happening. And it's okay to speculate. We do it all the time. But we also say we're speculating. We're like, this is not news. This is not official. We are just guessing based on what we know or think. I don't think that anything has changed. I think he'll me speculating. See how it's done, you fucking ball lickers. Speculating, I would think that at this point, he doesn't know. He has said he's going to wait and see how the play does. The play hasn't fucking happened. So what? I'll wait. I'll wait until the play's done, and then I'll see then. I would love for this gangster series to happen first.
Ooh, agreed. And Richardson would probably be the guy that they would hire to film it. I mean,
yes.
Seems like he would. I mean, he's worked with Tarantino. The only time he hasn't worked with Tarantino was on Death Proof. Death Proof was DP'd by Tarantino himself. But from Kill Bill on, he's done Kill Bill. He's done Inglourious, Django, The Hateful, and Once. So he's done all of those, to include many other directors' films. But he's done all of those. So if he's going to do a show like this, I would think that Richardson is going to be the man.
Yes. So he would know. And he doesn't know yet. He said he didn't know. Apparently, words are really hard. Now, what would I like to happen first? I would definitely like the series first. I have an issue anyway with anything that I love concluding. Part of it is delayed gratification. Part of it is I can't let it be over. I do it with TV series. When the series finale comes up, I'll be like, nope, I can't watch it today. And then I'll hold off for like a week when everybody else has watched it. Yeah, this is how I feel about his last film. The longer it's prolonged, I'm both miserable and ecstatic. That's what it's like living in my head. So sorry. It's not comfortable.
If something happens starting next summer, that's great. If it is the film, that's great. Everyone just fucking take a deep breath. And just because someone says something, fucking, double check our sources. Well, in other news, during an interview for his upcoming new Apple TV crime series, Lucky, with comicbook.com, Timothy Olyphant gave some insight as to what we can expect from his upcoming film, The Adventures of Cliff Booth, where he will be reprising his role as Jim Stacy from 2019's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He told the website, well, the cool thing about the experience and some of the stuff I've seen is that both things are very alive at the same time, and it's such a cool mix. It is a Quentin movie through and through. You hear that dialogue? It's like hearing a great Stones song. You know it's the Stones, and that's Keith Richards' 2 chords. And so it has that. But then Fincher put such a stamp on it. The look of it, the feel of it, the music, it's so clearly a Fincher film. And so to see those two things sort of bouncing off each other, it's pretty fucking cool. Now, that's the kind of news that gets my loins a little bit excited because I love Timothy Olyphant. He's the one guy we know besides obviously Cliff Booth, reprising his role from the original film. So it'll be very exciting. And Miss Walsh, what elements do you feel need to be in this film for it to have the Tarantino vibe and make it feel like a true continuation of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
I think it's so interesting because we did touch on this a little bit before and about the overlap of Fincher and Tarantino. What I like most about both of them is they do the same fucking things. They just do it differently. The violence, the nonlinear storytelling, their attention to detail, both of them are meticulous as fuck. The dialogue, of course. Also, I think what is going to be most definitive for Fincher is the visuals. I think we're going to get a grittier, darker universe than we got from Tarantino. I mean, we did get. I loved it because I loved the contradiction of sunny California and then the murder and death and the whole entire thing. So that contrast was really cool. But I think we're going to get a much grittier world with Fincher. I don't know how it's going to turn out. Olyphant saying the dialogue, that's delicious. And also both of them are such great directors for actors. They pull some of the best performances out of these guys. And Brad Pitt, we all know, is just
he's some of the best performances from both of them.
Yep. So. And I love Timothy Olyphant. If you don't love Timothy Olyphant, I don't trust you anyway. But he's fucking great, and I think underappreciated in general. I can't wait. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a surprise. I don't really know, and I'm excited about that.
From the brief trailer we got at the Super Bowl time, and from a little conversation that he gave us on the episode or the interview about the violence that would be in there, that we see a thing of violence, and it's those two, I want to say almost Asian, Hispanic-looking gentlemen we see in the car and then walking with the sledgehammer. I think that's the moment he's talking about, where we as the audience see that, and then Cliff and them are going to have to confront each other at some point in the film, and Cliff doesn't know the amount of violence they're capable of as well, where we learn, obviously, we know what Cliff's are capable of. So and you can just, even the look you can see feels like a Fincher film, which is, I'm all in for. I think this is going to be, this has the real potential, and we've talked about this many times on the show, but I feel another, I don't want to jump the gun early, but a home run.
Jump the gun. Say it so I don't have to.
True Romance we didn't know, but when you look back at it now, it was the perfect marriage of script to director. Tony Scott is really the only guy who could have directed that to get the film we got. So I feel like this has the Fincher feel. If Tarantino's gone a little bit darker with now, we're no longer worrying about a buddy picture. We're now living in the world of Cliff, kind of like what we learned about him in the book in his early years before he kind of gets with Rick. We're in for a real fun ride. There'll still be sunny moments, but these two, like you said, they love violence, and there's a real chance. Which gives me this opportunity to ask you, on the flip side, what aspects of Fincher's filmmaking style are you most excited to see in it?
I am so excited to see how he adapts the violence, because they both do it so differently. Tarantino, and this would be Fincher's touch on it. It would be his interpretation, just like the music will be, which Fincher's another one who uses music exceptionally well. I am so excited to see his violence, because while Tarantino's is, it can be grotesque at times, and it can be over the top and ridiculous, that he doesn't hold back with it. But there's also a lot of humor mixed in it. And Fincher does not have any humor in his bones when it comes to his violence. It is visceral. It is very, very intentional. And you don't forget any of it ever. So I'm very curious to see how that translates from Tarantino's writing to him on the screen.
Well, we have reached the point in the show where I step aside, hand the reins over to my guest, and see where today's Tarantino discussion is going to take us. All right, Ms. Walsh, what Tarantino-themed rabbit hole are we diving into this week?
We are going to talk about why Tarantino is so obsessed with revenge. There is some revenge. It's a main theme in many of his films, but it exists in every single movie he makes in some form or another.
I went through quite a few of them to see where we had them, and it's majority of the films, there is some form of it. Not every, but a couple of them actually have it as the main theme of the film, and a couple of them have them as themes inside the film. And as the action goes, the revenge happens during the film in moments and sections. So it's definitely been a thread for a while.
Perfect example of that.
Yep.
You don't realize that it ultimately is going to switch over. I think what I see most, the continuity of throughout everything, is a reversal of power. At the very least, there's been some kind of underdog, like even Jackie Brown, underestimated. Is it a revenge movie? No, but
But she
turns
does
out
get revenge because she's getting revenge on the men who continually mistreat her and use her. So
exactly. Same thing with Death Proof, and then we have Inglourious Bastards and Kill Bill, and we have
Pulp Fiction, believe it or not, because Marcellus has sent Vincent and Jules to get some motherfucking vengeance for those cocksucking hacky sackers stealing his case and not delivering it when they said they would.
Well, he also gets revenge on the dudes that have Adam.
But we don't get a chance to see that, which is unfortunate.
We don't get to see it.
But damn
exactly.
it. I want to see the pipe hitting, you know who what, doing something with the player, blow torch and some pliers.
I've seen it in my head many times. It's a good thing. it's a lot of fun. Yeah, but it is. It's across the board. Sometimes it's very overt. And sometimes it's just Django's another one that's perfect. Revenge. The whole thing's revenge. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There's a reversal of power again. And that one too, that one I love. It's the correcting of history, which we see.
I also feel like it's Tarantino getting revenge. I feel like, so the whole movie isn't necessarily revenge, but it's I feel like it's Tarantino getting revenge on the people who stole his childhood and his innocence and the innocence of Hollywood in 1969. So you can just see it in the brutal aggression and getting revenge for Sharon Tate, who never had a chance to get vengeance upon those who did to her.
I know. It's correct. It's righting wrongs that we couldn't. And I don't see how anyone can't love a little bit of vigilante justice, because we don't see enough justice in reality. And I think that's why it's so satisfying to see it in film, because technically we're supposed to go, well, this is morally wrong to do this. No. We get to cheer it on and enjoy it all and not have to worry about the consequences because they're fictional characters. And it does feel really good. And I think you're onto something too with his childhood. But those are the movies that he saw in the theater as a little kid. He saw martial arts movies. He saw Westerns. He saw the black exploitation movies. So he got a touch of all that. Me, till I was about 15, I saw all of the 80s and 90s action movies with Arnie, Sly, and Brucey, and I loved fantasy. Fantasy in the 80s was so great. So what do I mostly love writing about now? Fantasy and big action adventure stories with some hero doing some badass stuff, because it was the most fun for me and impacted me the most as a kid, and that doesn't go away. And I think that's why we see it so much with him, because he makes the things he loves. Like, he makes the things he's a fan of. And then on top of it, he gets to have the power of killing Hitler so beautifully.
There's definitely something from his childhood that plays into this. I don't know if he's really talked a lot about it or if he even thinks about it. But he does seem to have this desire to right wrongs, whether it's historical or even for groups that are underserved. Women and black folks are the two groups that he gives the power to that have not always had power throughout the history of not just this country, but of the world. So it does seem like he has these central thoughts. And again, this is speculation. It could come from his upbringing. He was brought up in a mostly female family. His mom brought him up, and I believe there were two other women, one Hispanic and one black, who helped to raise. I think they were nurses with the mom. It's where Bonnie, the nurse, comes from. And then, of course, a lot of mom's boyfriends post his dad were black gentlemen. Yep. So he got a taste of black culture. And if you're getting a taste of black culture and you're getting a taste of the female culture, and especially you're growing up in the 60s and the 70s, there's a lot of angst. There's a lot of stuff that he was made aware of that the majority of white America either doesn't want to acknowledge or is afraid to even dive into it and learn. So I think he has used some of that as his background, for sure, as why he's obsessed with it. I don't know if obsessed is a good term, but I never feel like when I watch a movie of his that, it's another revenge flick.
No,
I never,
no.
I know when there are. I know that Kill Bill is designed for a revenge flick, and I know Django eventually you go, it's a revenge flick, but a lot of times I don't think about it. And then just kind of revenge happens as the plot goes. Now, I have taken notes if you want me to. I prepared. I prepared for this.
You prepared.
Because it was you who was bringing this up. So I was like, I'm going to prepare again. So I just kind of wrote these down. Now, 2 films have it as the central plot, that being Kill Bill and Django Unchained. 5 films utilize vengeance as a theme within the film, those being Pulp Fiction, Jackie Brown, Death Proof, Inglourious Basterds, and The Hateful Eight. Pulp Fiction, it's Jules and Vincent are sent by Marcellus to kill the associates who double-cross him, and of course, Marcellus is going to exact his own vengeance on the gentleman who just raped him. In Jackie Brown, she decides to double-cross Ordell and the DEA for all the times men have used her for their own needs. Death Proof, Kim, Abernathy, and Zoe get revenge on Stuntman Mike for trying to kill them. In Inglourious Basterds, the Bastards, an all-Jewish unit, get revenge on the Nazis for the atrocities they perpetrated on the Jews, while Shoshana gets revenge on the Nazis for what they did to her family and her people. In The Hateful Eight, Warren gets revenge for the black soldiers General Smithers massacred by killing his racist old ass. He also gets revenge on the people responsible for killing Minnie and Sweet Dave, and on those who poisoned the coffee and killed John Ruth and O.B. Tarantino also uses 3 of his films to rewrite history so that he can deliver vengeance upon those he feels have wronged people, obviously in Inglourious Basterds, the Nazis, and Django Unchained, slave owners, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Manson family. I just went with what we had, because I thought back on Natural Born Killers, there's no real revenge there. I mean, slightly at the end, but then again, I don't know how much of that was from the original screenplay and they move, but once Mickey and Mallory get out, they fight their way. I don't know if it's revenge. They're criminals. They deserve what they got. True Romance, there's no real revenge there. Well, for a moment, when Dimes shoots Clarence and she thinks he's dead and Alabama kills him. And then she does kill, but it's not really revenge. It's survival. Like when she kills Virgil, it's more of survival.
Retribution even. Yeah.
And even when Clarence kills Drexel, it's not revenge. He just doesn't like him. He wants to get rid of him. He wants to take him out of the picture, so she has nothing there. Actually, the only revenge we do have is Clarence's dad is killed because he stole the cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
Almost forgot. Yep. So add that in. Look at that. We talked our way into it.
See, we did. Because it's not that hard. It's such, I had a hard time coming up with the topic, mostly because you covered so much on your show, which is great.
I try to cover a lot of the stuff that's easy, but I really want this to be open so that people can say, I've always wanted to talk about, and we just talk about it, as opposed to like, okay, this week we're going to talk about this scene from Reservoir Dogs. Kind of open the floor for things you want. It's an itch. Did you want an itch?
Yeah, I came to it by asking myself questions. And I asked myself, why is it always so satisfying to finish one of his movies? Because there has never been a time I've walked out of the theater with anything less than a smile on my face. And I don't mean like that was a nice time. I mean like a shit-eating fucking grin that you couldn't wipe off with a bulldozer. It's because you do get that satisfaction at the end. There is a win, and there is a ton. And then the craziest thing about it is there's so much loss. You lose a lot of characters that you like in his movies. He does not take liberties with killing people. People we really love die. And still you leave feeling so good and satisfied, like everything's right again. Like, tuck me into bed. I'm ready to go to sleep and have happy dreams now, which I don't have. It's that satisfaction of the rights being wronged. I think the vigilante justice in some way. It's just so appealing to me, certainly. But I have real deep-seated issues with justice not being served in this world. So it appeals directly to me.
What is your most satisfying moment of vengeance in the Tarantino-verse? What moment just seals it for you? Like it's the moment you go, oh, God, I love this. This is my favorite part of someone getting their revenge.
It's Inglourious Basterds. It's the theater being on fire, and then all those fuckers still getting shot up. They're on fire and getting shot. I have never been so happy about mass murder in my entire life, and I make no apologies for it. I enjoy every single time I watch that. I feel good every single time. It is so satisfying. Because especially for those of us that grew up, we have maybe family that served in World War II. We grew up with stories, and like there's most movies, war movies are based on World War II. So it's like this almost mythology that I think our generation has grown up with. And even though Hitler does eventually die, it's a bit unsatisfying the way the motherfucker goes out, because he does on his own terms. Exactly. He gets to on his own terms, and I'm still angry about that. So, yeah, this feels like, it just feels so good every single time I watch it. I love it. What about you?
I love when Django and King Schultz get Big Daddy in the KKK.
Oh, that's so good too. That's probably second. That's probably second.
It's just glorious. I mean, because it's set up with such a glorious scene. Them just making fun of the KKK and how stupid they are, but then they get lit up. Probably a close runner-up is the girls fucking up Mike. That is an unforeseen ending. I just think he's going to die in a car crash or something like that. Them pulling him out and beating his ass, and then the fucking scissor kick from hell. She just drops the heel, and that's the end of Mike.
I've wanted to do that to so many men. I've wanted to do that to so many men. And I mean, like in the last 2 weeks, I have wanted to do that to men that I met in public. And I can't do it because I'll go to jail and I have to be a responsible adult. And I'm really tired of it.
Well, we may talk about that next year, about some of these things that are left unsaid or unfinished. How do they play out for some of these characters in the reality of life? We'll figure out, because I think everyone also forgets. Yeah, we rooted for those girls, but they did their fucking friend a dirty. They left her behind.
I'm still so angry about that. You don't do that.
She deserves revenge.
She does, because they seem like they're girls, and girls look out for each other. That's what a girl is. There's nothing deeper about it than that. You look out for each other.
You don't insinuate to a redneck mountain boy that you're going to blow him so they can drive the car.
You don't do that. Bad form.
Best thing that happened to Leah, she's murdered. That's the best thing that can happen for her.
Or maybe, you know what? Cheerleader, costume actress seems like, she's the one that we're going to underestimate. Maybe she has her own side story. Maybe she was raised by an assassin. Great. That's what I want. I want them to come back and have him strung up in the barn.
I don't think they're coming back. But anyways, We'll talk about that next year.
Yeah.
Well, Ms. Walsh, thank you again for another fucking fantastic discussion. If you would like to weigh in on this, please hit us up on either our socials or email us and let us know why you think QT is so obsessed with revenge. Those links can be found in our show description. Well, it's now time for our 2 for the road. As is customary on each episode, I like to close it out by giving you, our viewers, 2 movie recommendations for you to check out. Miss Walsh, what is your movie recommendation for my viewers this week?
You're good. This is especially for you, Scott.
Oh, no. Here we go.
28 years later, The Bone Temple.
Well, there was less bone in this temple, so that's at least nice.
There was less. However, I don't actually know who to ever recommend these 2 movies, which will be a trilogy, to, because it's so fucking weird. It really is, but I love it. So I just want to invite anybody who's not afraid of looking at some large-sized dongs and enjoyed the first 2 movies, but be clear that these are not in the same tone.
No.
Just the same universe.
I feel like you have to go through the first one to enjoy the second one.
I think
you have to
so
suffer
too.
through the first one.
I like the first one. I just didn't know what the fuck I was getting into.
Well, no one did. It was just zombie penis for 6 hours. You're like, what? Yeah. Why is there so much zombie penis? Like, is that the name of it? Like I feel like the titles are wrong. I think that should have been Bone Temple. Anyway, sorry.
Well, that's pretty close. I loved it though. I loved it. It was great. It was so messed up, and I just watched it again a couple days ago, and I think I even liked it more this time. And the ending has me really excited for the final film, which I will not ruin it for you, but it's worth it.
And Ralph Fiennes' performance.
He's amazing.
Yes, the whole song.
The Iron Maiden?
Yes, unbelievable. Yes. You know what? It's hyperbole. It had a similar feeling as when we watched the twist contest in Pulp Fiction. It's one of those moments you didn't know you were going to enjoy, because when you first see it, you go, oh, this could be hokey. And then all of a sudden you're like, Jesus Christ, I actually fucking really like that. Like, this is one of the best parts of the movie.
I know. I'm an atheist, and he turned me into a Satanist. I was in. And I've listened to a lot of Ozzy and Iron Maiden and Black Sabbath in my life. It took that scene. Yeah, man.
It was fantastic. Yes. Well, my recommendation comes from this year as well, and it is Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die takes the familiar time travel premise and injects new life into it with some what the actual fuck moments, laugh out loud humor, and genuine heart. It doesn't waste our fucking time with complicated rules or endless exposition, and instead focuses its energy on the characters, making this bonkers fucking adventure feel fresh. The biggest fucking reason it works is because of Sam fucking Rockwell. He is the only actor who could have played this role, as he brings his trademark charm, wit, and slightly offbeat fucking energy to every goddamn scene he's in. Let's face it, the man is effortlessly likable, and even when things in this film get completely fucking absurd, his presence is what makes the film feel grounded. Beneath all the time travel chaos and comedy is a generally heartfelt message about second chances and making the most of the time you have. It's the kind of movie that leaves you entertained, smiling, and wishing there was just a little bit more of it. If you're tired of the deluge of IP horseshit, remakes, and reboots that Hollywood continually tries to jam down your fucking throat, then Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die is the fresh original story you've been clamoring for, and it is definitely worth your fucking time. So do yourselves a favor and go watch these two kick-ass fucking movies. And that will do it for this episode of Talking Tarantino. Be sure to like and subscribe, then join us next time for an all-new guest, fresh discussion topic, and more movie recommendations. You can also check out the Church of Tarantino podcast wherever you get your podcasts. New episodes drop bi-weekly. So for Heather Baxendale-Walsh, I'm the Reverend Scott K. Thank you for watching, and may Tarantino be with you always.